Alright folks, welcome back to the 6th week of me going through Phase 4 of the MCU, and today we'll be deep diving into the first film in a while that has ultimately divided fans, and that is Eternals. This is the 26th film in the MCU. It was directed by Chloe Zhao, who wrote the screenplay with Patrick Burley, Ryan Firpo, and Kaz Firpo. The film follows a race of immortal beings with superpowers and have lived secretly on Earth for thousands of years, but couldn't interact with human threat until they battle their evil deviants once again. For the cast we have Gemma Chan as Cersei, who is an Eternal who can change things when she touches them. Richard Madden plays Icarus, who is essentially a Superman of the group, since he has super strength, can fly and shoot laser beams from his eyes. Kamali Nanjian plays Kingo, an Eternal who could shoot lasers out of his fingers. Leah McHugh plays Sprite, an Eternal who can shapeshift. Brian Tree Henry plays Phaetos, who is an Eternal who can create weapons or technology. Lauren Ridloff plays Makari, who is an Eternal with super speed. Barry Keoghan plays Durag, an Eternal who can mind control people. Don Lee plays Gilgamesh, who is an Eternal who has super strength. Angelina Jolie plays Fina, who is an Eternal who can create weapons out of fibre. Salma Hayek plays Ajak, the leader of the Eternals, who can heal anything. Harish Patel plays Karun, who is Kingo's human valet. And finally Kit Harington plays Dane Whitman, who is a professor who is dating Cersei. This film was first revealed when Kevin Feige said in April 2018 that Marvel Studios were actively developing a film based on the comic book series, and it would be part of Phase 4. The studio really wanted to focus on the character Cersei and were looking for writers. They then hired Ryan and Kaz a month later with the task to create a love story between Cersei and Icarus. By late August, Chloe Zhao, Nicole Kassell, Travis Knight, and the directing duo Christina Galgo and Selena Gura were on the director's shortlist. Chloe, however, had a big vision to create her own take on a superhero film and a world-building franchise, and created a pitch for the studio with help from Nate Moore. When she showed her presentation to Marvel, they were scared another studio would take her away if they declined her for this film, since they also declined her to direct Black Widow. She was then hired by that September. She also then went on to promise to make a film that would be a mash of Jack Kirby's original run, Neil Gaiman's run from 2006, previous MCU movies, science fiction, fantasy and manga. Overall inspirations to her were the TV show Ancient Aliens, the video game series Final Fantasy, the book Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, and Terrence Malick's films. It would go on to be revealed that Moore was planning to swap genders, sexualities and races for some characters, with Chloe agreeing to do this. Angelina would go on to join the cast in March 2019 and was originally reported that she would be playing Cersei. Kamali and Dawn were cast a month later in undisclosed roles. By May, Richard entered talks to play Icarus, and Salma entered talks to play an undisclosed role themselves a month later. By July, Variety would go on to talk about the castings along with the actress Millie Bobby Brown. However, she denied any involvement with the film. Feige would go on to give the film a proper announcement at Comic-Con 2019 with the release date of November 6, 2020. It would go on to announce the previously mentioned castings along with the casting of Lauren, Brian and Leah. It was then said one of these actors would be portraying an LGBTQ hero. Filming began around the same time as the announcement at Pinewood Studios in England. Ben Davis was the director of photography. They used the same camera and rigs they used on Chloe's last film named Nomadland, and she was also prepared to film back to back with this film. For action sequences during filming, she was inspired by The Revenant. Gemma and Barry weren't actually in talks to join the cast until August 2019, which was a month into filming. Gemma, as previously mentioned in the Captain Marvel video, was in that film, but it was clear she'd be playing a very different role. Overall, she felt she wouldn't be in the MCU again, but Kevin Feige offered her a better role, which would be Cersei, who she was one of the last people to actually audition for the role. Both the actors were then confirmed to be in the film at D23 Expo of the same month. This was also announced with Kit Harington's casting. Patel was even cast at the end of the same month, and filmed his role from September 2019 until January 2020. Filming moved to the Canary Islands by early November 2019, however filming had to be halted and then evacuated because an explosive device was found near the area. Filming then would start again in England in January 2020. Chan would even go on to say how she had much of a different experience compared to Captain Marvel, but that film was mostly filmed in front of a studio and in front of a blue screen, while this film was much more done on location. Overall filming wrapped on February 4th, 2020. The film's release would be pushed back to April 2020 along with the other Phase 4 films, and this film's release date was then put as February 12th, 2021. The same would happen in September 2020, with the release date now being November 5th, 2021. Reshoots then took place by November 2020. Chloe would reveal she also wrote on the film along with Patrick, also saying the same around January 2021. Overall film would then take place in LA the next month. Dylan Titchener and Craig Wood edited the film. Chloe usually edits her own films, but Dylan explained that this film was too much work to do alone, and she also had awards to receive for Nomadland. Both editors worked on the film's first cut all alone, then went on to improve more on it after Chloe would send feedback after each draft. By April 2021, the director would go on to say that the editing was in its final stages. Ramin Djawadi composed the film, which was nice since he also originally did the first Iron Man film score. The film had its premiere in LA on October 18, 2021. It was screened at the Rome Film Festival on October 24th. It would be released in Europe on November 3rd, and it would go on to release in the US and the UK on November 5th. Also at the film's premiere, Matt Donnelly at Variety ruined the film's credit scene, involving Harry Styles. Some of it was hidden away in press screenings until the premiere. Styles was always looked at by Chloe since his appearance in Dunkirk, so overall I'd like to give a big massive middle finger to Matt for ruining that whole credit scene. The film began streaming on Disney Plus on January 12th this year. The film then released on disc on February 15th. The film overall made $164.9 million in the US and $237.2 everywhere else, overall making $402.1 million. It made $162 million in its opening weekend, making it the second largest opening after COVID. Critically, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 47 based on 396 reviews, and Metacritic gave it 52 out of 100 based on 62 reviews. It was also nominated for 5 awards and only won 1. I overall thought this film was made well visually. I liked most of the shots, however the writing and tone once again puts this MCU film far more down. The script goes all over the place trying to cover way too much, while doing twists in a lot of scenes which are ruined by typical MCU jokes, which isn't a surprise really. Like, we literally have 10, technically 9 characters to follow here. I only say 9 since one of them does die, but they are important to the overall story since the team split up because of them and formed together because of them. To make this easier, I'm going to quickly give my thoughts on these characters. Overall, Cersei is my favourite character in this film. Gemma is likeable in this role, and overall it was just relatable to follow a non-trusted member of the group to take lead at the end. Icarus was very predictable. I'm not gonna lie, the evil Superman formula has been overdone a lot now in media, but I kinda admit they tried to do something different here. This guy always wanted to follow orders and did bad things to follow his beliefs, kinda similar to how they did US Agent in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Kingo was entertaining, and I thought the concept of him becoming a movie star from his old stories were cool, but they just wasted all of that to make him more of a comedic relief, and have him randomly change moods for the plot. Sprite's motivation is understanding. She is visibly out of place compared to the rest of the team, however the final cut of the film just made her an annoying brat, and out of all the scenes they cut, it really shouldn't have been the scenes that made this character likeable. I'm going to put Makari and Jurag together for this one, since they aren't as big in the plot but are a fan favourite couple from a few scenes together. I kinda agree I found them cute together when they've got to reconnect. However, on their own again, there just wasn't enough room for Makari, and they kinda shoved her to just be in the ship the whole time, which is just for her really on her own. And Jurag is a personal other favourite of mine, but that is just off Barry's performance, making what they gave this character really work. I overall understood his choices. I'm again putting Gilgamesh and Fina together here because, well, they had a sweet story of Gilgamesh protecting Fina. But again, this results in Gilgamesh not having much ruin on his own, apart from a few comedic scenes involving his cooking. In then, Fina is brilliantly played by Angelina, but overall her arc just feels rushed and used a lot for the story to go on. Ajax, as mentioned, is there to be a leader and reunite the team after her death, although from what we got from her, I liked her in this role because of her speeches, which were overall good for the story. Then finally, Phaetos is just, well, there. Yeah, he has a family which is sweet, but that's really it. Just another barely used character until, well, we need him for 1 or 2 things. Honestly think they shouldn't have just changed the teams, genders, races, ages, etc. I think they should have a smaller team we could see grow more and more in the future installments. Make this the franchise Chloe originally wanted. However, now it seems a lot of fans just don't care about this team, with Disney only contacted Gemma about a future with Cersei. They're not doing anything else to the writers other than just them saying that they want to do a prequel series. If they do decide to do another thing with the team, I just hope they pace it a lot better, or just don't have as much going on in the next installment, make it a proper story that overrounds a few characters. But yeah, that's my personal thoughts of the Eternals with the making of it. Honestly, again, this one is pretty divided with fans. A lot of fans love it or hate it. So where do you stand on that? Are you with me, where it's just, you think it's an average film, it's kind of mid, kind of between both that? Or do you love it, hate it? Please let me know in the comments with some facts that I didn't mention in the video. So yeah, I'd really love to hear it. Please like and subscribe if you've been watching the MCU videos, it would mean a lot. But overall, like, comment and subscribing isn't the biggest priority. I just like editing these videos and getting to talk about something I'm interested about, really, in this one. So yeah, I haven't really got anything else to really say, because boy, I've just been working on these videos, to be honest. So I'll see you next week, and peace.
Text from Cersei. Hurry, Kingo. The deviants are here.